here. I'm Nikita Kumari, sub-editor at BISinfotech, and I welcome you at Tech Talks of BISinfotech. It's a pleasure to have you here. And I want to let my audience know that Mr. Sharad Bharati is a MD of MD Technologies, Embitel Technologies. And as we all know, Embitel has grown tremendously in EV electronics and embedded engineering. So today we are going to discuss how Embitel drives innovation in EV electronics and software-defined vehicles. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, so sir, before we start this interview, I request you to introduce yourself a bit and tell us more about the company.
Yeah, thanks. Pleasure to interact with you. Myself, Sharad Bairati. I'm founder and managing director of Embitel Technologies. I started the company in 2006 with a very much focus on automotive domain.
Mm-hmm.
That time, it was not very known that software will take over the automotive. But we started with the combustion automotive to start with, and we were having our own challenges. And a blessing in disguise, we got sort of into the EV without knowing that EV will become a big bandwagon going forward. So we started developing the IPs and platforms for EV architecture and infotainment, FOTA, all those things we started developing in-house. And when the EV kick off, I think we were just caught in the sort of a nice demand pull from the worldwide. And we started contributing to the EV two-wheelers, four-wheelers, and then Volkswagen came to us in 2019. We signed the term sheet with them, and 22 we got acquired by Volkswagen Group. And today, our team of 1,400 people are building up the latest technologies for Volkswagen across all the 12 brands of
Mm-hmm.
Volkswagen Group.
I want to start with the Embittel's unique engineering model, which is GCC plus model. So, could you explain what is GCC plus model and how it differentiate Embittel technologies uh, in today's automotive landscape?
Yeah. See, unlike every GCC, we enjoy the scalability and stability of Volkswagen Group.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we have a very much strategic alignment with the Volkswagen. But at the same time, we don't want to be the inward-looking company, and we want to be the profit center, unlike the cost center at GCCs. And we also want to benchmark against the best. So, considering these three criteria, we are very much aligned in working with the third-party clients, which are non-VW, beyond VW clients, and we are helping them to develop their products or build our products into their ecosystem worldwide. So this is called GCC Plus because 30% of our revenue is coming from beyond VW business. So we are a very much independent company. We spend what we earn. Okay, so we are not looking at our people. Okay, please send us the money and then we will spend it. Here we earn and then we spend it.
Okay, and like Embitel works deeply with Volkswagen Group. So while also serving the other global automotive clients, so how do you balance a deep engineering ownership for Volkswagen Group with scalable solutions for other clients?
Yeah. So for Volkswagen Group, we have a completely different team which keeps working from them. We have a physically isolated locations for them, so
Mm-hmm.
we don't really allow the much interaction between the Volkswagen project because those are at their own network and so very confidential what we are doing it because what we're building for Volkswagen is something not built for anybody else, so it's very confidential. When we talk about the global OEMs, actually, it allows us to understand the OEMs, their regulatory parameters in their own countries, actually. And it gives us exposure to the different architectures in the car, different types of domain, like zonal domain or other domains which are prevalent in the car. So essentially, it gives us a lot of variability in our understanding about the different architectures available worldwide. And hence, this allows us to optimize our design when we develop any solution for a client. So this is how we are able to build the scalability.
Okay, and like EV systems has multiple layers from power electronics to power controls and then vehicle software. So where does Embitel create the maximum value in the EV electronic stack?
So there are two things to look at. One is the how we. So of course we have a lot of products in the EV vehicle, like we have
Hmm.
vehicle control unit, motor control unit. We have the battery management system, onboard chargers, and other things. So these are our products, which are we call IPs and the platform. The second part is how we design these product actually, which is important. So we go with the design first approach, whereas we select the compute, power electronics, communication architectures to meet the performance targets and minimal overheads. And
Hmm.
then we add the safety and the security features in that. And hence, what we're creating is a very cost optimized product, which are very much for two-wheeler or three-wheeler and four-wheelers. And when we sell it to a customer, he is able to reuse that for many voltages.
Hmm.
So what Embitel is doing is one is the products we are building up, IPs which we reused, which allows the development time to go down by 50%. And then we provide the scalability to our clients, to our hardware modularity and software abstractions when we develop these products. So this is how we are. For example, I mean, we have an integrated motor controller with an embedded inverter.
Hmm.
Now, this can work for both three-phase and the six-phase PMSM motors because we have a modular architecture. Now, when we sell it to any customer, he is able to scale the performance and redundancy without sort of redesigning the core systems,
Hmm.
right? So he can just optimize or customize for his own use.
Okay, and like EV architectures, like moving forward toward domain and zonal control, so requiring compact multi-in-one units. How is Embitel designing these units without compromising performance or safety?
Yeah. So of course, exactly what we said that we have to have a hardware modularity actually. That is the
Mm-hmm.
most important part when we're designing this three in one, what you call, or five in one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to reuse the hardware building blocks. So we make these reusable building blocks, like for example, power, voltage, performance classes, right? And on the software abstraction side, now we are building the application layers and control algorithms, which are typically our platform independent, right? And we use embedded technologies like modular based design methodologies. So by using both hardware modularity and software abstractions, we are able to take care of this issue.
Okay, so like EV comes in many forms, from two-wheelers and three-wheelers to passenger and commercial vehicles. So how does Embitel ensure its EV platform scale along delivering these different segments?
Yeah, so of course, when we design anything, I think we are more or less concerned about the voltages we bring it to the table, right? That's how
Mm-hmm.
we make sure that, for example, when we design this motor control unit from 48 volt to 128 volt, we can do that. AC compliant, ACD compliance. If you're using the vehicle control unit, we make sure 12 volt to 24 volt. And then we are doing the battery management system, right? We have range from 300 volt to 800 volt. So I think by making them design in such a way that we are able to scale up to the various, whether it's a two-wheeler or three-wheeler or a four-wheeler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As you said, EV systems operate over a wide voltage range and must meet global standards as well. So, how does Embitel design solutions that compile with diverse international regulation?
So all these regulations are taken care in the design itself, right? Regulations like, for
Mm-hmm.
example, is I think 18590 for two, three-wheelers and 186, something like that for
Mm-hmm.
four-wheelers.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the standards which we have to comply with.
Mm-hmm.
And these standards have to be compliant along with the functional safety and security, because those are also
Yeah.
very important aspect
Mm-hmm.
of when we're designing an EV, from the compliance regulation and as well from the safety issues. So these are always taken care in the design first itself. We are not doing all those things after we had sort of patch up job after we had done it. So all these compliance issues are taken, and that's exactly the reason when we work with the multiple OEMs, we are very much aware of the regulation standards in each country, let's say wherever we have the OEM we work with.
Mm-hmm.
And that knowledge we are able to assimilate when we are designing our own products.
Okay, so could you please tell me which country has the easier regulations regarding to this EV electronics and which one has the difficult regulations?
See, it is very difficult to say for me because
Mm-hmm.
most of these standards are driven by technology people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not by any government or anybody like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically goes with the, let's say, ISO standard, or you have a functional safety standard, right? Or this ISO, you have ACLD compliant, ACLC compliant, which are very much standardized. We can't do anything with respect to any government. So today, I don't think we can say that, okay, this country, maybe in the legal issues or other issues might be a difference, but when it comes to technology, I think more or less all are same. You can't, because all these standards are defined and everybody has to follow those standards. Otherwise, you may not able to really provide those APIs to connect to your EV
Mm-hmm.
system.
Okay, and like as we move ahead, and software-defined vehicles are the future, but there is most important critical part in this is safety and security. So, how does Embitel ensure safety and cybersecurity in EV systems?
Yeah, so I think today we have around a team of, I would say, 150 people, in fact,
Mm-hmm.
working on safety and security itself only. And for example, ISO 26262 or ISO 21434. So I think these are, as I mentioned, are taken consideration during at the concept stage and the architecture stage itself, right? For example, you may have like secure boot, or you may have threat analysis, safety goals, communication security, fault tolerances, right? So all these concepts are taken care in the design stage and the architecture phase itself in the beginning. Then
Mm-hmm.
only we are able to integrate these standards into the design.
Okay, and as collaboration is key in the modern EV environment, so how do partnership with semiconductor vendors and ecosystem players strengthens Embittel's EV and ADS development roadmap?
So of course, chip is very important. Of course, all the supply chain is very important for EV, starting from the battery
Mm-hmm.
to the chips. So I think as a design house, so we are not really concerned with the battery. So that is something OEM has to take care of that. When it comes to the chip selection, which is at the design stage, again we have to bank on the OEM to give us the inputs on what chip selection we can go for, because it's the OEM who has a very well connect with the chip design, chip manufacturer and the chip design companies. So and we have to follow them. So
Mm-hmm.
we can recommend, like we work very strongly with almost all the chip design companies we have in the world. All major chip design companies we are working with, whether it is EV or ADAS or any other things, we are working on them. But per se, we are more dependent on the partnership between the OEM and the chip design. So we may have a restriction because OEM might come and say, I don't have the partnership with these chip design companies. You have to take these chips into your consideration for design. So we have no other way but to go for it.
Okay, and as intellectual property can make a big difference in engineering efficiency, so how important is IP-led engineering to Embittel's EV and ADS programs, and how does it help customers reduce cost and time to market?
Yeah. In fact, what I'm talking about is all our IP led only, because all
Mm-hmm.
these are the IPs which we have developed, intellectual properties, over the
Mm-hmm.
last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the all IPs which we have developed, gaining the experience from our working with the OEMs across the world, and built all that knowledge into our design of these, where we have done a lot of cost of optimization, the performance, the security, and the scalability.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the advantage our customers get from us. It's not that we have worked only for 2 years in EV. We have been working for last 10 years in the EV, and that's the advantage we bring to the table to our customers when they buy a product from us.
Okay, so as Embitel works deeply with Volkswagen Group, so like how does that working with Volkswagen Group help Embitel technology in the EV market?
So I would say that we already had the knowledge of EV, and
Mm-hmm.
we already had sort of the modular architectures and everything in available with us.
Mm-hmm.
And with Volkswagen, we are not only working on EV, we are working on ADAS, we are
Mm-hmm.
working on energy and charging, power electronics, cloud and connect. So it is a complete, let's say, SDP platform which we are engaged with in the Volkswagen group. It's not just the EV part. Now,
Mhm.
when it comes to the EV part, we are working on both low voltage and high voltage. And with Volkswagen, I think we are always at the leading edge of the technologies which we are working on. And I think that's the important part. The way we have built our company is more on a talent, not on the cost arbitrage. And
Mhm.
this talent arbitrage, we have built the people with the product mindset, and these are the people who are building the products on EV for Volkswagen Group, whether it is low voltage, high voltage, and then can be scaled up. So Volkswagen Group has got cars like Porsche and Audi, and then we have the same mass cars like Volkswagen. So our solutions which are building up for Volkswagen can go into the sort of the mass scale model as well as for the niche model.
Okay, and before we wrap up our interview, I my last question is to you. What are Embittel's key technology and market focus areas in EV electronics and embedded software in coming years?
So I think in the EV technologies, we are definitely working on, as you said, integrated system, three in one,
Mhm.
five in one,
Mhm.
or AI-based BMS, or we have this VCUs which can have a cloud connectivity or the edge connectivity, which we are working on. So these are the some futuristic sort of a wireless charging or bidirectional charging. So these are the something which we are working on the EV from the latest technologies.
Mhm.
Coming back to the general automotive, we are working on ADAS level, which is exactly the differentiating factor for any EV vehicle today, because this is where the applications are built, and this is where the consumer get really interested in that. Today, nobody buys a car unless he knows how many ADAS features do I have? 8 features, 10 features. So ADAS is becoming a very big differentiating factor, and we have a big team working on ADAS level 2 plus, level 3, and level 4 plus actually, and this is where we are going to really differentiate ourselves. Then you're working on the cloud and connect part, which is what we're happening in the cloud, which is also very important, which is where we're using a lot of AI driven
Mhm.
predictions, digital twins, we are using it, or the individual personas we are making it for a consumer so that he feels connected to the physical world. So these are the areas which probably we are taking up to the next year.
Okay, thank you so much for having this lovely conversation. It was incredible to understand deep engineering and embedded software in modern mobility. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Thanks a lot.